The Queensland Labor Government will hand down its annual budget today, framed as a major pitch to voters ahead of the October election. Joining me live is Queensland Premier Steven Miles. Thanks for your time, Premier. We spotted you doing some push-ups, a push-up challenge this morning. How many did you get to?
G'day, Kenny. You're right. I'm doing the push-up challenge to raise money for mental health. I'm raising money for Lifeline. I just did 58 with one of the reporters from another network. So it's great to be with you.
You did 58
in a row. I've got to get to 123 for the day. 58 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's quite impressive.
I think my form was maybe a bit questionable towards the end, but I did my best.
Oh, looks all right. Look, let's get to the budget. This is a big spending budget that you're handing down today. Are you confident it can save your government?
Oh, look, the focus here is not on the government, it's on Queenslanders and what we know Queenslanders need right now with those high interest rates as well as those multiple years of high inflation above wages. We know Queensland households are struggling, and that's why we've brought in $1,000 energy rebates. We've slashed rego by 20%. We're giving $200 vouchers to every kid who plays sport. We're increasing the stamp duty threshold, effectively abolishing stamp duty for first home buyers up to $700,000, and we're slashing the price of public transport, making it almost free, 50-cent fares no matter how far you travel.
Are you squibbing away all those coal royalties on short-term political sugar hits?
Not at all. This is what Queenslanders need right now. But we'll also announce today that this financial year's budget will return a surplus, even though we projected a deficit. And even though we are projecting to go into deficit next financial year to fund some of these measures, as well as our big 11% increase to the health budget, we're projected to return to surplus in years 3 and 4. So this is very responsible budgeting, delivering to Queenslanders what they need now, as well as what they need for the future, while retaining levels of debt that are far, far lower than comparable states like New South Wales and Victoria.
Yeah, but these are a lot of handouts that are coming when federal Labor are trying to be somewhat meagre when it comes to not handing out too much to try and ease inflation. You don't seem to be sharing the same concerns with your budget.
Well, all of these measures are designed to address inflation. The advice that we have is that crediting energy accounts with those $1,000 credits, reducing public transport to 50 cents, slashing 20% off the cost of rego, all of that will have an effect to reduce the CPI, giving the RBA more room to move on interest rates.
So putting more money in people's pockets, in your opinion, is going to ease inflation?
Well, reducing inflation is a measure of the increasing cost of things, and reducing the cost of some of those things will reduce that inflation while also delivering support to Queensland households. We know that they need that right now, and Queenslanders can get that relief because we've made difficult decisions, like the decision to increase royalties on coal companies making super profits. That's what's delivering that revenue, which has allowed us to give people those $1,000 rebates while delivering a surplus this financial year, as well as delivering those additional measures next financial year while returning to surplus in future years.
Have you spoken with Treasurer Jim Chalmers? What does he think about what you're handing down and what you're spending in particular?
Look, Jim's a Queenslander. We talk regularly, and I'm sure I'll catch up with him after the budget to compare notes. But I know that Jim represents one of the parts of Queensland that's struggling the most. I know Logan families really need this relief, and they'll be pleased to be able to catch the bus or the train for just 50 cents. They'll be pleased. Many of them won't pay another energy bill until next year. That's the scale of these energy rebates. 20% off rego will make a huge difference. Plus, we all want to see more kids playing sport, and I know club sport. I've got 3 kids playing club sport, and it can really add up. These $200 vouchers will mean that more kids can get out on the soccer field, get out on the rugby league field. We know that's good for their health, good for their mental health. It'll help them to integrate into society. So I'm really proud of all of these initiatives.
What is struggling, though, is your opinion polls ahead of the October election. What do you say about the criticism that all these handouts you're doing is trying to buy votes?
Look, that's not my focus at all. I've said from day one that I would listen to Queenslanders and deliver for them. I said on day one that the first budget I deliver would be all about easing cost of living pressures on households. And I think no matter which way you look at this budget is all about easing the pressure on households. In fact, it's such a good budget that my opponents, the LNP, they endorsed it a week ago before they'd even seen it. I think that's a pretty strong endorsement of what a positive budget this is, delivering on the things that matter most to Queenslanders.
And an unusual time in Queensland politics. Queensland Premier Steven Miles, really appreciate you coming on this morning. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kenny. Anytime.